So the next topic that we will be studying about is, as I told you in the previous video, the physical and the administrative divisions. So you can see here are the physical divisions, there are some more. So first part we will be studying about these. So let's talk about the Himalayas. Now, as you know that India is a vast country with all the different landforms that we have in India. Now, what are the different landforms? We have the mountains, we have plains, desert, plateau. So, we have all the different landforms. So, the very first that we will be studying about is the mountains, the physical division. Now, the Himalayas are divided into 3 parallel ranges. Okay, you know what is a parallel line? That doesn't. What is a parallel line? It's a line that doesn't intersect. So there are 3 parallel ranges of the Himalayas. Now, what are these 3 parallel ranges? Now, the first one is the Greater Himalayas. Okay, and most of the highest peak are found in these Greater Himalayas. Greater Himalayas are also known as Himadri. So, the Greater Himalayas, what are they known as? It is also known as Himadri. And it has all the height, like it has Kanchenjunga ranges and it is always covered with snow. Now then the next is the Middle Himalayas. Now the Middle Himalayas are also known as Himachal. Now you all know about Himachal Pradesh. Now Himachal Pradesh is a center of scenic beauty. Most of the busiest, you can say, or the beautiful hill stations are in Himachal. Now, if to talk about, like, you have Shimla, you have Manali, you have Dalhousie, you have the dunes, the Dera dunes, the mountain ranges. So there are so many beautiful hill stations that are located in the Middle Himalayas. Now, the next that we talk about is the Lesser Himalayas or the Outer Himalayas, or the Shivaliks. Now these, in this area there is a little, you can see there is a lot of population also, or they are also known as the foothills of the Himalayas. Okay, then these are the, that is what is the 3 different parallel ranges of the Himalayas. Now the next when we study about is the northern plains. Now when I talk about the northern plains, okay, it is the plain area. Okay, now because it is a plain area, it is also highly populated. Most of the population of India is situated in these northern plains. Like you have Delhi, you have Uttar Pradesh, you have Bihar, you have, so all these. The place or these northern plains is made by the silt deposited of the different rivers, especially the Ganga and its tributaries that is flowing from the north. Okay, and they bring down, and it is at the foothills, so they bring down a lot of silt with them. And it is also, further when you go to the northern plains, you have the Ganga and the Brahmaputra delta. That makes it more fertile for agriculture, more populous, that means a lot of population, a lot of industries are set up. So there is a lot of employment also in this region. So that is why it is the highly populous region, because of its plains. Now in the plains you have different things, like in the plains it is easily to construct roads. It is easy to construct railway lines, set up railway lines or airports, or travel is easy. So whereas when you talk about the Himalayas or the lower Himalayas or the Himachal, there you don't have railways, right? Mostly people travel by roadways. And yeah, in the northern plains, because it is it's highly fertile, there is a lot of agriculture activities also taking place in the northern plains. Now the next one is the Great Indian Desert. Now we have desert, you all know that is the Thar Desert, and that is in Rajasthan. It is, as being a desert, it is sand, mostly sand, very hot. The temperature varies in a desert. It is, it is hot in the afternoon and cold at night, because the sand, it gets cool very fast. And then there are animals and plants that are adaptable to this. Now in Rajasthan, there is, because of that, I'm talking about basically Rajasthan, but in the Thar Desert, there is less of population and even less of rainfall that makes it a Thar Desert. Now this is, there are Aravalli ranges near the Thar Desert that protects doesn't let the rain-bearing winds go to the Thar Desert, and because of that there is very less of rainfall in the Thar Desert. So our next topic is Peninsula Plateau. Now what is Peninsula Plateau? Peninsula Plateau is at the southern part. Okay, actually it is, you can call, it's in the middle, not exactly, but covering the middle part and the southern part of India. It is also known as Deccan Plateau. Now when we say about this plateau, now what is a plateau? We have already studied about, it's a highland. Okay, it's a plain highland. Now this plateau or the Peninsula Plateau was made up of the volcanic eruption, lava and the magma, and that is what makes it very rich in minerals. Now when we talk about Peninsula India, then we have, in the Peninsula India, it's at the middle, and on the two sides it has the Arabian Sea in the western and the Bay of Bengal in the eastern. Now when we talk about the Peninsula India, in the Peninsula India there are also ranges of mountains. Now what are these ranges of mountains? It's a mountain that is connected to each other. Now it has the Aravallis, the Vindhyas and the Satpura ranges that you will find in the Peninsula India. Now in this Aravallis, Vindhyas, and they are very old mountain ranges. And in Peninsula India, the two rivers. Okay, now in the whole of India, you have many rivers and you have their tributaries and their distributaries, right? But when we talk about these two rivers, that is the Narmada and Tapti. Okay, the two rivers, Narmada and Tapti, they are the rivers, they are the only rivers in India that drain in the Arabian Sea. Now all the other rivers and the tributaries, they drain in the Bay of Bengal. So whenever a question comes about which are the two rivers in India that drain in the Arabian Sea, you should remember that it is Narmada, and you all know that Narmada is a very holy river that flows from Jabalpur. And Tapti, these are the two rivers that drain in the Arabian Sea. Now the next we talk about is the Western and the Eastern Ghats. Now when we talk about the Western and the Eastern Ghats, they are the two mountain ranges with the different valleys on the southern side of India. Now when we see the map of India, I will right at the bottom, that is in the southern region. So that is where on the two sides you will find on the Bay of Bengal side you will find the Eastern Ghats, and in the Arabian Sea then you will find on that side you will find the Western Ghats. Now when we talk about the Western Ghats are also known as Sahyadris. Okay. Now all the continuous mountain ranges near Kerala, Goa or Maharashtra, all these mountain ranges that you find here, they are all part of the Western Ghats. Now Western Ghats are also continuous range of mountains. Whereas when we talk about the Eastern Ghats are, it is discontinued. It is not a continuous range of, but in between it is discontinued. Now the next topic that we come to is coastal plains. Now these coastal plains, as I already told you that we have the Arabian Sea in the western side and we have Bay of Bengal in the eastern side. So these are the coastal ranges, and whichever states and cities, all these come touching the coastal areas are a coastal plain. For example, Kerala, Maharashtra, that is Mumbai, Goa, Tamil Nadu, all these come in the, or Trivandrum, Kanyakumari, all these are coastal plains, okay, because they lie near the coastal area. Now the next is islands. Now in India we also have islands. Two famous islands on the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. One in the Arabian Sea is the Lakshadweeps, and in the Bay of Bengal we have the Andamans and Nicobar Islands. Now they are a group of islands. They are like say 100 or 200 islands, small islands. That's why they are called a group of islands, and they are part of India. Now when we talk about Lakshadweep, Lakshadweep is also known as Coral Islands. Coral, C-O-R-A-L, coral. Now what do you mean by coral islands? Now coral is kind of an aquatic animal. Okay, it's like a polyp. It's round in shape and it has a hard covering, a hard shell on top, and it grows. Now whenever one polyp lives on the shell of the other polyp, okay, so it's on top of the other. So when one polyp dies, it leaves the shell behind, and the other polyp grow over that shell, and again that dies, and again that leaves the shell. So because of that collection of shells, the Lakshadweep has become, a part of Lakshadweep has become a coral island. Now these, basically when we talk about Andaman and Nicobar, you also have these, Andaman and Nicobar is very famous for tourism. Okay, and a lot of people every year they travel to Andaman and Nicobar Islands to see the scenic beauty. It's a very beautiful island, and to visit, a lot of tourists come every year to see these islands, and it's a very good tourist attraction there. And then Andaman and Nicobar is also, you have you can travel from all the near coastal areas, and it has a good network of flights. Airports are there, flights are there, so you can travel to these islands, and there's a lot of habitation, and even tribal people, basically the tribal people also live in the inside these forests in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So here we come to the end of our chapter. Now I will also show you in the book about the different the map of India, and where is all these places where you can locate these places on a map. So I hope you have completed the first homework that I gave you in the chapter, and I will be taking up that in the next live session whenever we will be having it. And this is your second homework, that you have to see the video and you have to locate all these places that I will be showing you in the map. So please see the full video carefully and locate the places that I will be showing you on the map.
Now you can see this map that is given on page number 50 of the geography book. Now, as I discussed with you the 3 parallel ranges of the Himalayas. Now you can see here the Greater Himalayas, Shivaliks, and here is the Outer Himalayas. It's not written there, but you can see the 3 parallel ranges. So the Greater Himalayas, the Himachals, and the Shivaliks, or the Outer Himalayas. The next comes the Northern Plain. Then you have so many rivers, the tributaries of Ganga, that is Yamuna. Then Ganga is already given there. Then there is some more. There is Son, there is Ghagra. All these are the different rivers. And this part is the, as you can see, here is the, it's not written here, but I'm just showing you that this is the Ganga and the Brahmaputra plains, or the deltas. You can see the Brahmaputra river flowing from Arunachal Pradesh. Then you can see here the Great Indian Desert and the Aravalli ranges. I also told you that the Aravalli ranges stop the rain-bearing winds from going to the Great Indian Desert, the Thar Desert. Then you have the Deccan Plateau, or this whole, the Peninsula India, which has the Vindhyas, the Satpura ranges. Then you can see the Narmada and the Tapti flowing through the peninsula and flowing in the Arabian Sea. Then we come down to the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats are the continuous range of mountain, whereas Eastern Ghats are discontinued. You can see here. These are the coastal areas. You have Maharashtra, you have Goa, you have Kerala. Then here you have you have Tamil Nadu, you have Odisha, Kanyakumari. All these are the coastal areas. Here is the Bay of Bengal, where the other rivers and the tributaries flow. Then comes the Lakshadweep Islands and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So Lakshadweep Islands is again, as I said, the Coral Islands. They have many other islands, small islands, and even the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. We have Sri Lanka, and then we have the Indian Ocean. So now I told you, now the same way as this map is given, you will be tracing or sticking a map in your geography notebook against this chapter in front, wherever you are starting writing this chapter, and you will mark all these places that I have discussed with you. The 3 mountain ranges, the Thar Desert, Aravallis, Vindhyas, Satpura, Narmada Tapti, Western and the Eastern Ghats, the 2 coastal areas, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Lakshadweep Islands, and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So all these places, one more thing, that is the northern plain also. So all these places you're marking in the India's physical map and sticking it, and I will be checking up when we will be having our next live classes.